Yeah. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Let's go. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. All right.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore them or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guest will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego.
Yeah. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and wow, Michelle, we got an absolutely fantastic show coming your way today. We got one of my most favorite individuals on earth that's going to be here. He's doing so many great things, and I tell you, I'm excited about this show. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. Well, you haven't had this guest on the show in a while, and I am so excited and honored to have him back on the show. I think it's been a couple of years, but, you know, he's a great friend to us, and he's got a lot of stories to tell. And this interview can go on for hours, but we're going to make it so where he's just going to just put a lot of information out there, and we're going to have a great discussion.
You know, one thing about this young man is he's doing so many things for the veterans, especially the veterans that went off and started small businesses. He get them the resources to do them. Resources meaning to bring the people in to talk about a lot of things that can help them out. Because if you don't know and you're trying to run a business, it's going to be tough. But so his heart is so golden that he reach out. He cares about everybody. He cares especially about the veterans because he is a veteran. So I tell you what, Michelle, can we get this started? Can you please tell our audience and viewers the title of the show, purpose of the show, and bring this absolutely wonderful guest on?
Yeah, so the title of today's show is called The 100-Year Plan, and we're having a discussion, a sit-down discussion with retired Marine Corps Chief Warrant Officer and founder of the ARRC, Albert R. Renteria. We're going to talk about what is the concept behind the 100-year plan. We're going to talk about the sorry, Albert. Oh, sorry, I think I was on mute. So let's talk about this guest today. So, again, he's a retired Marine Corps Chief Warrant Officer, among other manpower information systems duties. Albert R. Renteria was responsible for developing and implementing programs in support of the Marine Corps migration of administration management from paper to a secured web-based platform. He also served as information systems officer, systems analyst, project action team leader, senior analyst, manpower management officer, classified material officer, adjutant, and recruiting operations chief. After his retirement in 2000, he held positions of leadership in the private sector as an independent e-commerce consultant. He founded the ARRC in April 2000 and is a service-disabled veteran-owned business advocating for the military and veterans, providing expertise in business development and joint venture opportunities. So I'm going to let him tell a little bit more about himself. Please welcome back to the show, Albert R. Renteria.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Big Al? How you doing, man?
Listen, I'm doing great. It's good to see you both again. It has been a couple of years, but JC, I got to correct you, okay? Although we reach out to veterans, it's our civilian that we continue to serve 24/7. We're just a fraction of that population. So although it may appear that it's for us and our brothers and sisters that serve, we don't stop serving. So it's the civilian audience that have relatives, mom, dad, pops, brothers, sisters, that are unaware of the enormous benefit you and I have and what we bring to the economy by using those benefits, hence the 100-year plan. How do we raise awareness? You both have done incredibly in doing such a thing. And it's you that inspires me. You need to know that straight up, okay? And it's about our conversation and what we can do together to serve all.
So, Al, can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit more about you, people that did not catch your show 2 years ago? Can you tell them what makes you so passionate about what you do, and what makes you just want to reach out and help all of these folks, and what drives you? What drives you?
Everybody, not just who I connect with, but everybody worldwide. They have such a need to find within, to dream big, think big, be big, as you constantly say. 100 years from now, if we don't take action to make a difference for those children who we'll never know, we'll see, will be certainly no longer here, but our actions, not the narrative, not the label, but our actions must speak loud, set the example. I think I told you I have a 9-word prayer. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And the only thing I can do with that is realizing it's not what I want, but what these children 100 years from now should have, because we got it for them. So this is key. This is important. And this is the conversation.
Yes, most definitely. So the title of today's show is called The 100-Year Plan. exactly what does this mean to you, Al, and also to you, James?
Well, I launched this the second time, 1972. My brother enlisted. 50 years later, 2022, I wanted to acknowledge his 50-year milestone, September 27th of 2022. And I put him on our My Life, My Lineage board, as I did with JC, to bring on board the first 50 years of some service member that reached 50 years of their milestone from date of enlistment. Then I decided to invite children, students, to represent the next 50 years. Now, I didn't do that in 2022 at the trade show, but in 2023, Ray, who happened to be a neighbor of mine in Chicago that I didn't know until after we both retired, we connected. His 50-year milestone was in 2023. And we had a young man named Pete Rodriguez to say his message for the next 50 years, representing the next 50 years of that 100-year plan. And in 2024, I hit my 50-year milestone. This year at the trade show, Bill Osgood enlisted in 1975. 50 years later, we're going to have a young student, Sarah Jackson, to sing the anthem and tell us her 50-year vision, hence representing the next 50 years. And we'll repeat that every year until we reach the year JC reaches his milestone. So JC, when do you hit your 50-year milestone?
Well, I probably won't hit my 50-year milestone. And this is retirement, right? Or it's a journey.
No, date of enlistment. Date of enlistment.
So I will reach my in 3038.
3038?
You came in.
Yes.
Wait, what year did you enter the service?
78.
Oh, okay.
So 28.
28
is your 50-year milestone.
Oh yeah, okay, 2028.
Hang on, let me use my fingers. So that's the concept, Michelle, is 50 years from date of enlistment. Whether you retired or you served a year, 50 years later, your 50-year milestone has been achieved, and then we do this perpetually. I won't be here 100 years from now, but that's the concept of a 100-year plan. It's us leaving a message, if you will, to our descendants. Right now, many people go to ancestry.com and look for where we came from, when we today should plant the seed to leave it for them to discover so quickly and easily. That's the concept of it all. How do we leave a message to descendants 100 years from now? The simplicity of life.
So, James, have you thought about your 100-year plan and the milestone you want to reach, even after you retired from the military? Have you thought about that?
Well, when I retired from the military, no, I was not thinking about none of that stuff. AR enlightened me on the 50-year plan, the 100-year plan. And then I started thinking about it. My vision is just like what Al said, the 50-year plan from the time that you enlisted or went in. And once you hit that, but then we also have to look out for the next 50 years for our youth, our young adults, our people that's going to be falling behind us, to give them some type of foundation where they would have an opportunity to work toward that. So all of those things are so important, and Al always come up with all of these things that make sense and that also enlighten, especially a lot of not just service members or veterans and this, but everybody as a whole. So that is so important. I'll tell you what, we got to take a station break, but when we come back, we're going to talk a lot more about the 100-year plan. So whichever platform that you're watching this on, if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Welcome to Veridian Christian University, where faith and learning come together to transform lives. At VCU, we believe that education is more than just academics. It's about fostering a community of growth, integrity, and purpose. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate, VCU offers flexible, affordable, and 100% online degree programs that cater to your busy life. Our innovative platform provides a personalized learning experience, empowering you to thrive in today's ever-evolving world. Join a global community of learners guided by an experienced faculty who are committed to your success. With VCU, you're not just earning a degree, you're preparing for a future that integrates faith, leadership, and service. Veridian Christian University, educating with purpose, transforming lives. Learn more at VeridianChristianUniversity.com. VeridianChristianUniversity.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michelle Cooley. Heart disease research saves lives. It's that simple. Thanks to medical advancements funded by the American Heart Association, more women are surviving heart attacks, strokes, and other cardiovascular diseases than ever before. But there's still so much work to do.
Hi, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I'm raising funds to support life-saving research because every heartbeat is worth fighting for. In honor of Women's History Month, please join me in support of the American Heart Association and women's health.
It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Yeah. Come on.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, this conversation that we're having, just getting a better understanding of the 100-year plan, 50-year plan, help give us direction on legacies, because we have to leave a legacy, a great legacy, for the folks that's going to fall in our footsteps. And as I mentioned to you, Al is so wonderful about doing all of these things and setting the stage. So, hey, I got the first question before I turn back over to Michelle. Why must we all make a difference in a child's 100-year plan?
Could you say that again, JC?
I assume why we must all make a difference in a child 100 years from now.
Well, there's a lot of things happening worldwide, and dissemination of critical information has to be laid out. This conversation today, it'll be in the cloud for as long as we allow it to be. So a child 100 years from now is going to be perhaps more well advanced than all three of us together, and access to our actions versus our words or narrative or label is going to be more realized, because if we lay and plant that seed 100 years from now, that child will see how it's been nurtured and harvested, and their actions should be influenced by our actions. We can say and read and write all we want, but if we don't step up and do something and cross that line together, then we fail those children 100 years from now. So together, and this is what this trade show is about, is to connect. Mm-hmm. Connections are currency, and to learn. to learn what we need to do to make a difference 100 from now, and to secure that information and be able to distribute it like you guys do. I mean, it's amazing the platform you have, because you put great content, diverse content to deliver to those that are listening, or those that can pass it on to somebody else, and secure opportunities for the world abroad, particularly for those that don't have this access. But when you travel, when you have your phone, I always take your show with me in my pocket. Say, hey, have you seen this? And I'll ping to your show and says, look, you got a choice. Pick the choice, because you can listen to speakers that speak from the heart, that have one interesting thing in mind, is the difference that we all can make in a child 100 years from now. That's our purpose together.
So, Al, this is a question for you and James. What values that you believe that we've lost today that's going to make life harder for children, whether it's 50 years from now or 100 years from now? What values you feel that have been lost today that can make things more difficult? And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
And we'll just start with you, and then we'll go with James.
I don't believe values have been lost. I believe they have gone dormant. Okay, values can't get lost. They just get buried with labels and narratives and information that's not true, and they've accepted that as truth. So values, I've never met anybody with no value. I've met a lot of people that have been buried, have buried their values and put them dormant. So the opportunity for all of us is to remind folks: were you that child that tugged on mom's sweater and says, "Wow, can we do this?" That's value one. It's innocence. Mm-hmm. It still exists, but if we bury it, we tend to forget it. It's critical that we have such an opportunity to remember everybody has value, and we have to remind them to dig in deep, to pull in so deep in the heart, to recover and bring their value back to surface. Let's not let their value get lost. The narrative and the
So what about you, James? Do you think there's anything that's been lost today that'll make it harder for future generations?
Well, I do. Respect. And just in the generations now, that's coming, everybody want a handout. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to think about anything. They just want you to just tell them or give them what they need, opposed to sitting back, thinking about, hey, how can I make myself better? How can I make my family better? How can I do these things? I believe that is lost due to times and situations that we are currently in. And these situations also lead to people being fearful of everything. So I believe that hopefully soon we discover or dig up those values that's been buried and bring them back into the realm of things, so that we're able to display and also encourage, teach, lead for the next 50 years. The folks is our kids and everybody that's going to be around during that time frame. We have to be the examples right now. Mm-hmm. And we have to be the example. We have to tell them, this is what I believe, this is what I think, this is how I feel. I think that's so important to explain how you feel about certain things, because people are going to do things based on their feelings, and that might not be in the right mindset, if you will. So I think that is so important, and I do believe some of the values is lost, but just like Al had mentioned, buried. Meaning, if you dig them up, you can get them back.
Exactly, exactly. Al, do you believe that in some ways we are the product of decisions made 100 years ago or 50 years ago? And what does that say about how we can influence the future generations?
That's a very good question. 100 years ago, there was no technology. 100 years ago, if I would say, how would you put an elephant in a box, refrigerator, uh, they'd cut it up. Today, we walk it in. Okay, so we have to give credit to those that didn't stay idle. They invented stuff. Hence, influenced us to see what they got and what we can do with that as we're doing today at this moment. So their actions, whoever those inventors were, I use Edison as an example. It took them 1,000 mistakes to invent the light bulb. So that's the benchmark. Make 1,000 mistakes, and your idea will eventually turn on the light bulb. So we need to realize we're going to make mistakes. We're going to stumble and fall. But we got to realize that we have the opportunity to leave a resilient example for those 100 years from now. And where the veterans come into play, when they enlist and they reach their 50-year milestone, they get to leave a message for those in the future through this type of platform. And we bring a child that can be planted with an idea that they're going to represent the next 50 years and part of a 100-year plan. That I believe is paramount to your question. Is those that left us something, and what are we doing with it?
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing something with it.
Al, if you can send a message to a child 50 years from now or 100 years from now, what would you want to say about the legacy that you left behind personally?
I don't think I can isolate it to just me. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
us, and that's what I want them to realize. It's not a legacy of one, but a legacy of all. And if that child realizes it's the all, uh, he or she is part of that all. So it's not the legacy that I seek out, because that goes against the 9-word prayer. I shall not want. It's about knowing that we should leave a legacy for the children 100 years from now to realize that it's the all, not the one, that matters.
Wow. James,
Yes.
so say if you want to leave a message, same question I posed to Al. If you want to leave a question for someone in your generation, in your legacy, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, I mean, we'll all be gone, but what message would you want to leave to them that you feel is really critical for them to have the life skills they need to be productive citizens?
Don't always be the follower. You follow until you develop leadership abilities where you go off and do your own thing. But if you follow and just continue to follow, all you're going to do is follow. You're never going to be discover your independent self, what God placed you on this earth to do. So sooner or later, develop your own values, your own personality, your own character, and just don't listen to what everybody else is saying. If they're leaders and they are speaking and doing great things, yes. But just following behind somebody blindly, that's not going to help you or your family or your future generations out, because you are known as just following what somebody say do this. You go in there and they say, I can't. I'm not like that. I learned growing up that you have to develop your own everything. And if you develop that in your heart, your mind, your body, your soul, if you make a mistake, oh, so be it. You make a mistake. You can make as many mistakes as possible until you get it right. As long as you don't make the wrong choice. You make the wrong choice, it's case in point. If you are walking down the alley, you hear bullets, pop, 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 pop. Like, oh, I want to see what's going on. And you reach over there, pick you, bam. That's a bad choice. But a decision, you can make it until you get it right and learn from each decision. So I think that independent thinking, once you have gathered the knowledge, understanding, and vision to move forward in whatever you're doing, is so important. We got to take a station break. We're going to come back. We got a lot more that we're going to talk about with Big Al. And I tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching this on, whether it's E360 Television, Frankfurt TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Rumble, and 84 other platforms, welcome to the show. If you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments on the platform you're watching us on and ask any questions that you might have. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Your life. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. It's Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Let's go. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's like today we're talking with my main man. I call him Big Al, about the 100-year plan. As he eloquently broke it down, got to get past the 50-year plan first, and then we think about the next 50 years where we might not be here, but we have an opportunity to set up a legacy and things that we represented can be passed on, or at least be there for the future generations to benefit from, get an understanding of what our generation is all about. So that's so important that but we do that. And so I'm gonna turn it back over to you, Michelle.
Thank you. And we're going to discuss the 14th Annual Veteran Small Business Trade Show in a minute or so. But just one more question regarding the 100-year plan. Uh, is it ethical, do you believe, to enjoy the benefits of our era while ignoring the consequences it may have on future generations? And this is a question for you, Al, as well as James.
Well, the understanding of the question is, should we enjoy our time and ignore the future? Perhaps, I think is what I understood. I think each moment ought to be enjoyed to its fullest, with the blessing of knowing the difference we can make by our actions for those not here yet. And I'm going to use you and JC as an example. I mean, every day, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, I think 7 days a week now, you guys are talking to the world, okay? And you're dropping seeds, as I call them, seeds of information that can stay dormant for some and nurtured by others. So it's those that have not discovered that seed as of yet. Is I think it's really the intent of everything we do, is knowing you may hear it, but who didn't hear it, and it's somebody outside of this conversation of three that should hear this and pass that on. Example, his daughters group. I spoke to them just yesterday, and why should they go to the trade show? I go, because you need to disseminate your message. The trade show may have nothing to do with them in their mind, but it has everything to do with them in their mind, because everybody there has somebody that knows somebody that could use their services. So how we make that possible is the moment of joy, and then realizing that we only can do so much alone. But imagine if we got the world involved. That's important, and how easy it is today compared to 100 years ago. Okay, so we're able to reach the globe where 100 years ago they reached 5 people or whatever area they lived in, because there was no means to communicate or distribute this information. Great question. Thank you for asking.
What are your thoughts, James?
I still think that, learning and being open-minded is so important, and the thing we call understanding. Because no one knows everything, but if you alert and you look, listen, and learn, you're able to formulate thoughts that's going to, I'm talking about if you're a believer, I'm not saying everybody be a believer for that, but to be able to distinguish what's right and what's wrong, what might work with others in the generation to come, what is working right now, what some of the things that we need to be laying down right now, so that others will learn and will follow and will do in order to make the next generation a better place.
Okay. Well, now let's talk. Now, Al, let's talk about this upcoming event, the 14th Annual Veteran and Small Business Trade Show. This is done, I believe, every year. Can you tell the audience, what is this all about?
It's about confusing everybody. Why should I go? What's this about? As JC said from the onset, he's focused on veterans. We say, well, not really. It's everybody that needs to realize that when I retired over 25 years ago, there was 25 million veteran population. It's down to 18. By the year 2035, it'll probably drop by maybe 12 million. Because technology allows us to deploy a smaller footprint and leverage technology the way we are today. So what does that mean in the value of the civilian and what this trade show is about? First and foremost, connect with each other. Learn why I say confused. Well, if you already know it, you're not confused. But if you connect to learn, what I'm saying you're confused about is too often and JC said it, too often folks come across as wanting a handout because no one's willing to give a handshake. Hence, handshakes, not handouts. So what is a handshake? Is to realize that I'm going to confuse you first, so you can say, "What the heck are you talking about, Al?" And then show them that I'm curious on how easy it is for me to confuse you. Hence the elephant in the refrigerator. And then learn that everything these veterans have done and served and promised don't know how to navigate to get their post-service benefits. And an economy cannot be boosted unless there's cash flow. I'm 100%, and I retire was 50%. And I talk to every veteran. But mostly I talk to most civilians. Hey, do you have a brother or sister that served? Oh, yeah. I go, do you know they can log into va.gov and request a letter of intent? What's a letter of intent? Well, that they're going to have a year to submit a claim. And 100% of those veterans that didn't know that I was connected with a civilian who made it possible, you go online, va.gov, and submit an electronic form of intent to file. Or in the old days, you had to go to a printer or go to an office and mail it in, and hopefully a year later it's there. So the trade show is to connect with each other, civilian and veteran, and trade information, hence trade show. Not a summit, but trade. Mm-hmm. And we're trading this information to learn, what we don't know. The government shut down. Business is about consumership. And how are they going to sell their wares if they're selling to the federal government? Well, you still got state. Most importantly, you have commercial, which is my primary focus. I have a 3% government and 97% consumership because I know that the government is relying on tax dollars. But if we don't have that revenue stream going through, we have a problem. So by learning this, you're securing the knowledge to navigate this landscape. And in doing so, you secure and create more opportunities. So how do we achieve that? Well, this platform achieves that because even though we do it today, it's available 24/7. And I pass out all of your shows in my global network. So the emphasis, even as I logged in and did my pre-test here and see my logo vets correctly on YouTube, it's backwards, okay? So those are the little things I learned is if you disseminate information, I effectively did it correctly, but I'm confusing the world because my logo says STEV on YouTube and it says vets I'm looking at. So confusion is key, but curiosity is what's going to resolve that. And that equals tenacity. Tenacity is what I have because I stay confused. I'm incredibly curious. So I want the trade show to be for those that are confused and curious to not only join us on site, but across the globe. I think we talked about the 2 o'clock live show you guys are going to have. And I'm glad you're going to stay home and rest. But I've already reached out to the groups to say, hey, look, let's do this live from your exhibit table. Leverage technology to emphasize to the world we can be anywhere, any place, and disseminate value. Use that word, value.
Value is so important. We're going to take a station break, Big Al, right now. We've got to take a station break. We're going to come back. But value is one of the most important words because you always want to bring value to the table, bring value to any conversation that you bring value to whatever that you're participating in. So we can take a station break, but we're going to come back and we're going to pick it up with Big Al. Remember, if you want to make comments, all you got to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on, ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Guess what's happened to the freshmen and the sophomores? You guys are going to grow up and be the seniors. You guys are going to run your school. So, this is the Warriors, right? This is the Warriors, right? Come on! If you tell yourself you're going to do something, you got to do it. So you commit. And that last, create, collaborate, commit with what? Commit with what? We commit with confidence. Confidence is you know that you can do it regardless of what anybody tells you that you cannot do. You know deep inside you can do anything you set your mind to. So the 4 C's is create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Everybody say it with me. Create, collaborate, commit with what? Thank you. Let's go ahead and receive another round of applause.
The future is here.
Now is the time to pursue the greatness in you. Welcome to Viridian Christian University, where faith meets future. We are a fully accredited, 100% online Christian university. We offer bachelor's degree, master's and doctorate degree programs, built for students like you. Affordable tuitions, 30+ degree programs, 100% online and flexible, integrating faith with learning. Study from anywhere at your pace. At VCU, we do not just prepare you for a degree. We prepare you for purpose. Discover who you are, grow in faith, and build a future that impacts the world.
Are you ready to start your journey today?
Visit www.viridianchristianuniversity.com.
Apply today and be among the global leaders.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, just like I mentioned to you in the beginning, Big Al is one of my most favorite people in the world. And just like I mentioned, it's heart goes out to helping others, uplifting others, just teaching others and letting them know that you can. You can do anything that you set your mind to. But sometimes you might not have all the resources or the understanding. That's why this trade show is so important, because it's going to be several other small businesses and other folks as well, banks, etc. Going to be sharing their ideas, their thoughts on how you can make your business better or get a better understanding of your small business. So I want to turn it back over to Michelle.
Oh, yes, most definitely. So, Al, as someone who's coming to this trade show, what should I expect? I mean, where do I start when I come in there? What takeaway, what inspiration are the audience who's participating in going to this trade show? What should we be looking for?
Great. You're asking all these great questions. This is fantastic. First, you're there because you're curious, and when you get there, maybe confused. And your takeaway is going to be tenacity, because you're going to walk in there and satisfy your curiosity to resolve your confusion. Okay, so you're going to be greeted by some great people You had them on the show last time, Rocio and Cindy. And as you walk through, look around and see what they're doing. You know, when I went to pursue my degrees, as all of you did, is we have a tendency to listen to the instructor or the professor, and I never did that. I looked at the flow of students to see how are they reacting, what are they listening, what did they hear? Because we both heard them, but I can guarantee you we both heard something differently. So your takeaway is going in there perhaps with a preconceived notion, this is what I expect, and leave unexpectedly surprised that it's something that you didn't expect to be a witness of. Because everybody there is, as JC described in the questions you asked, business is just not a business at a storefront. It's at home. Family business is the primary business. Everything we do is to make sure that family business prospers. However, that culture or that family wants it to prosper, it's going to prosper with information. And the only way you can gain more consumership, if you will, is understanding that to be true so you can build a business that satisfies the consumership to enjoy why they're going there in the first place.
Wow. So what is your participation in this event? When you're there, what are you telling people when they come in? How are you inspiring the small businesses that are taking a part of this event?
You have to understand, you going alone inspires me, okay? So how do I reciprocate that, okay? So the inspiration of an individual is going to be the willingness to communicate and witness what they haven't seen before. A person, a business, the speakers. So as you walk through those doors, you may feel intimidated. It may be your first time out. Or don't feel intimidated. Just like JC was saying, do it because you can. Because you're there is proof that you can. Okay, if you're not there, log online and be behind the scenes from anywhere in the world on your phone, like I do many times. So the opportunity, I believe, and JC knows this, is to show evidence of thinking big. The first step is to walk out of the house. The second step, walk somewhere in some path, and those doors are that next step. And then witness what everybody's doing and saying. And be confused. Be curious. And if you're curious like me, I'm going to ask why. That's what curiosity is key for me, because I'm going to always ask why, because I don't know everything, nor do I want to, because then I lose my curiosity and I'm going to be confused more than I do my tenacity. So that's essential for me, and I tell folks think that way.
So Al, we have about a couple of minutes left of the show. In what ways do you believe this trade show strengthens the veteran and small business community long term?
Business is about knowing the market, and the key thing for these businesses to earn long term is to secure opportunities with other businesses. Okay, veteran businesses are in high demand in the government, but too many veterans believe they can prime that when they can't, so they get disenchanted. So they want to connect with a non-veteran business who's been in business perhaps longer, and they create the contract, but the law now mandates them to subcontract a veteran. So the long-term gain here is navigate the procurement landscape. We're going to have DGS there and certifications on site. So they got to realize that you got to have skin in the game, and by being there demonstrates that.
Wow. James, are there any takeaways that you want the audience to know? James.
Yes, there are all takeaways that I tell you, if you get an opportunity to attend this trade show, you want to be there. You're gonna learn so much, and you're gonna meet so many folks. So if you get that opportunity, you got to do it. So I tell you what, this has been a fantastic show. And Big Al, I want to thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on. I mean, tremendous. You always come on and lay things out. And I tell you what, I wish I could attend the conference this year, but I'll catch you next year.
You are. You always do. Look at that. We're having the conversation right now. You ain't got to be in front of me, toe to toe. And that's the emphasis, the takeaway, Michelle.
That's
the takeaway.
You absolutely.
You got to be there, but you can click us and be on the side.
I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning into the show. Always dream big, think big, and be big at everything that you do. We'll be back Monday, same time, same place. It's your life, but you can watch us on and listen to us on the radio, KCBQ AM 1170, Answer out of San Diego, K-Sky AM 660, The Answer out of Dallas, 9 o'clock p.m. in San Diego, 6 o'clock p.m. in Dallas. We'll be back Monday, same time, same place. It's your life. We'll see you there.
Doctor.